What's up, everybody? This is Rich. Now, I don't know if this is just in the LA area or this is happening everywhere, but am I the only one who notices dogs? Yes, dogs, four-legged animals, dogs, inside the grocery store. Am I the only one who notices that? Like, you go to Whole Foods or you go to Target, you go to Ralph's, go to any of these grocery stores, people are literally bringing their dogs inside the grocery store. I don't get it. Like, number one, off top, isn't this like a health violation? And I literally see the dogs putting their paws on foods and packaging and stuff, as if it's not a health concern. Now, I know a lot of y'all don't know how to bathe properly, right? A lot of y'all stink. A lot of y'all hygiene is on nothing, on boo-boo. You smell like boo-boo. Smell like you 4 day old, like you ain't took a shower in 4 days. And yet y'all bring your dogs in public into the grocery store. And it's almost like, can't nobody tell y'all nothing. Like it's an extension of your family, like dogs belong in the grocery store. I am highly disgusted by this. And I think we've gotten to a point now where it's almost like you can't tell people anything. You know, you tell people you can't bring your dogs in. Then the first thing they say is, oh, it's my emotional support dog. Well, where's the jacket? Where's the vest? Where's the card? They ain't got one. Lies. It ain't no emotional support dog. It's your pet. And people feel so entitled now that they feel like they can bring their pets and animals anywhere and everywhere they choose without no consequences or repercussions. Like I said, your hygiene is on zero. You don't have no hygiene. You don't bathe. So what allows me to think that your dog is clean enough, or your animal, your pet, is clean enough for you to be bringing inside the public place in public spaces. Especially places where we get our food from. I literally see a dog's touching the food. And then the owners are not correcting the dog. The owners are not pulling the dog. Now, I may be the only one who's out of touch. Or maybe this might be something new. But again, dogs do not belong in the grocery store. They don't. Keep your dog in the car. Keep your dog at home. But your dog does not belong in the produce section of the grocery store. It does not belong in the dairy section. It does not belong in the bread section. It does not belong anywhere in the grocery store but outside. Like I said, I think we're living in a time now where people are so entitled and companies are so scared of losing a dollar that they feel that they can't tell their customers, hey, leave your dog in the car. Leave your dog outside. I really think that's where we at. The sense of entitlement is just off the charts. But like I said, I'm disgusted by it. I don't know where we got to as a society where we allow animals inside the grocery store. Like I said, if it's an emotional support dog or something like that, or it's a medical support dog, like if you got diabetes or something and dog sniff your blood sugar running low, by all means, your dog is trained. Your dog is trained, that's cool. But I'm telling you, I go to the mall, people have their dogs, the dogs get to barking at each other. The dogs are defecating everywhere and peeing everywhere and boo-booing everywhere. I've seen it. Like, this is not a health concern. Like, this is not a health concern. And they just are willy-nilly with their dogs like it's not a problem. I've literally seen this in the mall. Somebody has their dog in the mall, and the dog took a boo-boo in the middle of the mall. And the people kept going as if didn't nobody see them. It's already bad enough problem out here in LA where everywhere smells like piss. Where people go outside of their apartment buildings and just let their dogs urinate right in front. I used to deliver food. And I can count more times apartment buildings the front of the apartment building smell like urine more than it smelled like just flowers, grass, fresh air. 90% of these apartment buildings smell like urine. Dog urine. Hey, I'm serious. 90% of these apartment buildings, when you step outside in front of them, they smell like urine. Dog urine. Not human urine, dog urine. Why dog hearing? Because I literally see they come outside with their dog, and the dog immediately, they don't go 10 yards down the street, 15 yards, they don't go to a designated spot. No, right in front of the spot, the dog is urinating. And this is what y'all paying $2,000, $3,000 in rent for. To go outside, not smell fresh air, not smell fresh grass, not smell the roses. Dog piss. I think we've gone too far as a society. We need to reel it on back. Let me know. Am I too out of touch? Maybe. I don't know. But that's how I feel. That's how I see. Dogs don't belong in the grocery store. And y'all need to take your dogs to a designated spot to go piss. I'm tired of it. Anyway, this is Rich. Y'all be safe out there. Love and blessings. What's up, everybody? This is Rich X. I was in the store the other day, and this lady had a bag that said, "Inclusion is a business." And I said, yo, that bag, that bag is something else. So I just wanted to talk about that, inclusion being a business. And I thought I was one of the only ones who saw through that, how all these companies went along with this inclusion, rigmarole in order to include all these groups, the this group, the that group, the this group, the that group, the this group, the that group. Doing all these things to include these groups, whether it be as employees or as potential customers, whatever the case may be. I've always seen through it. Seen that it was just a business model. That was it. It was that if we alienate these people, number one, they may call us some kind of phobic. And or if we alienate these people, we may not gain their business. So why don't we just have inclusion to include these people, whether it be as employees or customers? Why don't we include these people to gain their business, number one? And number two, to not have to face the backlash of being phobic. And any kind of phobic, whether it be religious, sexuality, racial, whatever kind of phobic. And I highly believe that. When we're talking about corporate greed, which is the one thing that runs all these companies, we're speaking on that, right? How could they not? How can we really sit back and think that these companies really care about all these groups that they're including? The only thing that they care about is the money. So if anything comes in between them and profit, they're going to have to figure out a way to get over their hump. That's why inclusion is a business model. Inclusion is just for profit. So I tell all these people who are in all these groups, whatever group you're in or whatever kind of party or side that you feel like you take, ensure that these companies that you're running to really care about you, really care about your stance, how you feel about what you feel, your lifestyle. I'm not here to say if your lifestyle is right or wrong. We all have freedom of choice. Whatever you want to do, do. But what I'm saying is don't fall into the traps of that, this company is being, or is propaganda, or is spreading propaganda in order for us to come shop with them or be with them. Don't fall for it. Again, don't fall for it. Ensure that these companies are really standing for you. Remember, it wasn't too long ago where all these companies hopped on the alphabet train to include the alphabet community because it was good for sales at that point in time, where they thought it was good for sales. And what happened? The sales either declined because their actual loyal fan base did not agree with their new strategy, or it just in the long term did not work out as for profit as they thought it would have been. So ultimately, what happened? They let it go. See, it was a business model. It wasn't because these companies truly believed in that way of living or truly believed in supporting those people. No, it wasn't about that. It wasn't about that at all. It was about not missing no money. It was about not leaving no money on the table. That's what it was all about. So, again, don't get caught up in all this inclusion. Oh, they included us. They included our group there for us. Don't get caught up in all that. Look at it like this. Who's really for you when they have the most to lose? If these companies have a lot to lose, everything to lose, and they still stand for you, they still stand with you, then obviously they're with you. Obviously, inclusion is not a business model. This is who they really are. But when profits are at stake, money is at stake, and your group or way of living, lifestyle, whatever the case may be, is on the chopping block, you'll see if they really care. You'll see. So, just a tidbit. You know, inclusion is a business model. Don't fall for it. And this is not just with companies or corporations and things of that sort. It's even politics. It's even politics. So, anyway, this is Rich. Y'all be safe out there. Hope this helps somebody. Love and blessings. What's up, everybody? This is Rich. I wanted to talk about common courtesy. You know, holding the door open for people. Somebody sneezes, you say, bless you. People saying thank you, I appreciate you. Or, you know, somebody walks in front of you, interrupts your line of vision. You know, they say, oh, excuse me. What happened to common courtesy? Is it foreign? Is it old school? Is it outdated? Am I out of touch? Or is this something that other people are noticing? You know, common courtesy is just at a lack these days. Because I'm the type of person, I was raised on having common courtesy, you know. And I believe that's very important for society. Common courtesy is very important for society. And people are wondering today, you know, what's wrong with everybody? A lot of it is narcissism and, well, not narcissism, excuse me, self-centeredness and a lack of common courtesy. Even when it comes to driving, you know, everybody's in a rush to get somewhere. Everybody's in a rush to cut somebody off and this and that. And, you know, that lack of common courtesy and patience is why a lot of car accidents happen nowadays. A lot of road rage incidents happen nowadays, you know. Now, I don't know, is it like the chicken or the egg? Is it like the patience caused the lack of common courtesy? Well, no patience caused lack of common courtesy. Or is it the common courtesy and then the no patience? I don't know. But this is just my observation of what I've noticed recently. Or it could be just in the general region where I'm at. I was raised in the South, so it's a lot of common courtesy that goes around. Yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, yes, sir, no, sir. Hold the door open for people. Thank you. No, thank you. I appreciate you. You know, those type of things, you know. Somebody sneezes, bless you, you know. How you doing today? Good morning, good afternoon, good night. You know, these type of common courtesy things. I was raised on that. I've been spending some time in the West, in LA. I've noticed like those type of common courtesy things is foreign. So that's what I'm saying. Maybe I'm out of touch. Maybe it's just the geological region where I'm at. It's a little out of touch. I don't know. Maybe. But that's just something I noticed. Like, you go around, you ask people how they're, you know, how you doing? Then they get kind of, whoa. Then you ask them, oh, how you doing today? And then it's like you're almost speaking Chinese to them. You speak in Mandarin, they're like, what, whoa. This person just asked me how my day was. It's like, yeah, how's your day? So that's one thing I've definitely noticed, you know. When you just being kindly or friendly, you know, people are not used to that. Like I said, I believe that type of thing helps the world go around. Common courtesy, being nice, being friendly, being patient. You know, these are the things that's easy. It's costless. It's effortless. I don't know. That's just one thing, one observation that I've noticed recently, or my time being out here. And I'm wondering, like I said, is it just me that's noticing that, or is it universal throughout the world now? Mm-hmm. Let me know what y'all think. This is Rich. Y'all be safe out there. Love and blessings. What's up, everybody? Let's talk about politics in the workplace. Ain't that horrible? Especially for those of us who don't like to kiss ass. I think office politics is the worst thing. For people who don't like to kiss ass, people who just like to get in, do their work, and get out. People who just want to be acknowledged for what they've done, paid for what they've done. You know, it's not into the rigmarole, not trying to make friends, none of that. Office politics is the worst. You know, I'm new to the job scene. I was never really the person who had the 9 to 5. I was always on my own hustle. But fortunately, due to certain circumstances, I had to join the 9 to 5 crusade. You know, and it is horrible, just the type of politics that go on. It's horrible, the type of politics that go on. How much ass kissing goes on, you know? How much you have to dim your light, you know? How much BS you have to put up with. And let's not talk about the pay, you know? It's just, geez, ugh. You know, it's almost, you don't have words to describe it. You have to use sound effects at that point. It's just, ugh. No, but for real, the office politics is just, I don't see how people survive it. I don't see how people survive it. I believe some people who are like really move up the corporate ladder and all that, some of y'all should be actors. Because I don't know if like this is who y'all truly are, or if y'all just act and performing in order to get these raises, promotions, you know, move up the corporate ladder. I don't know what it is, but I applaud y'all. Because personally, I can't do it. I can't do it. First off, it reads on my face. Anytime I'm in disgust, or anytime somebody just says something off the wall, or somebody does something that's just crazy. You know, anytime somebody does anything crazy, you can just see it on my face. Like, and especially if you have incompetent managers. I think that's the worst thing, is when you have to play office politics, or they want you to play office politics, and the managers and leaders are just incompetent. I think that's the worst thing. Because it's almost like, it's kind of easy to play up to somebody who's intelligent, play up to somebody who's smart, play up to somebody who's really doing what they're supposed to be doing. That's kind of easy, you know. I can see that. But when somebody's not that intelligent, not that bright, when you really don't understand how they got into these positions in the workplace, it's hard to kiss ass about that, you know? It's hard to fake that. It's hard to, fake liking them. It's hard to fake liking being in the position that you're in. Like I said, I don't see how people get it. I don't see how people do it. Office politics. And it's not just that one job or my job. It's plagued the whole workforce, you know? I think that's one of the reasons why I never wanted to go into the corporate world. You know, my mother was in the corporate world. My mother's still in the corporate world. And I remember just her coming back every day, just telling me stories and the frustration she had in the corporate world. And I vowed to myself, I did not want to be in that. So as I see it now, it's about everything but the work. If people who like working hard or just like to work, just want to get their work done, that's just the worst thing. When you have to go to work and you focused on everything else, or you believe that everything else is more important than the actual work. You know, people get raises and promotions based off of everything but the work. I wish it was a work environment, or, you know, I wish the culture has changed to where, you know, you're rewarded for the work you do. And that's it. You know, promotions are based off the work that you do, how productive you are, things of that sort. You know, you got to be a part of the in crowd not to get fired. Like, that's crazy. It's no longer just do your work and be quiet. No. Even if you're quiet, you know, they find some way to just throw you in there. Anyway, that's how I feel about it. Let me know how y'all think. Y'all be safe out there. Love and blessings. What's up, everybody? This is Rich. I think time and time again, we often forget that the people hold the power. And I'm not necessarily speaking about, you know, governments, politics, anything of that sort. I'm talking about just in general. People hold the power. And I want to put that in an analogy like the story of the elephant. Probably heard it before, but when an elephant joins the circus, the elephant is a baby elephant. So they tie the elephant up and put it in a stake in the ground. You know, the stake that holds the elephant still, so the elephant can't run away. And as a baby, this baby elephant can't move the stake out the ground. It can't rip it out the ground. So he's conditioned to think that. And as he gets older and gets bigger and gets older and gets bigger, his mindset is still conditioned that he can't pull the stake out of the ground. Although at this point, when he's a full-grown elephant, he can literally pull it out of the ground if he wanted to. And that coincides with how we are in society, or how we are in certain groups. That we've been conditioned that a certain power has more control on us than we have of it, or the potential we could have of it. Imagine you're a part of some group, organization, and you don't like what's going on. We continuously are in the thought and the belief that these powers and organizations have the final say, the final word, or the power, total control. But this is not true. The power is with the people. How will these organizations stand? Governments stand, groups stand, anything stand if the people are not with it, if the people are not there to support it. This is what we often forget over and over and over and over. If you don't like something, you can leave, right? If you don't like something, you can stand up. And if a lot of people don't like it, a lot of people can leave or stand up. And these organizations, these groups, these communities, whatever the case may be, have two options. Either to go with what the change that the people want, or leave it as so and hope that they get new people to come in. See, a lot of people, or a lot of groups, a lot of organizations don't change because they believe in turnover. They believe that people don't really realize their worth, realize the power that they have. So they feel like people just quit or go along to get along. Meaning that they know or hope that the people have forgotten this true strength. They're banking on that, you know. They change laws, or they change rules, or they do certain things that favor them and don't favor the people. And like I said, their hopes is that the people forget that we have the power. Just like in the circus, the people who's running the circus hope that the elephant forgets the power he has. Because if one day if he wakes up and realizes that he can pull that stake out the ground, it'll be a problem. So it's the same thing with people. Like I said, in groups, organizations, communities, governments, whatever. These people are hoping one day that you don't realize and wake up and realize the power that the people have. Because it'll be over. So never forget, the power is with the people. Never forget that. Anyways, this is Rich. Hope this can help somebody today. Y'all be safe. Love and blessings. What's up, everybody? It's Rich again. And it seems like we're living in a world that it's toxic or foreign or weird or crazy or strange or you're deranged if you smile or laugh in public. Yeah. I remember, well, it really sparked this. It was a couple of days ago. I seen this guy who was just laughing, you know. And people were just looking at him weird, like he had a mental disorder. And I notice sometimes I laugh, like I talk to myself. Not like I'm schizophrenic or anything like that, but, you know, I have conversations with myself, just trying to sort things out, you know, or I might tell myself a joke and it's funny. And I start laughing, you know. And I notice people just look at me like I'm weird. But to them, they don't know I'm actually talking to myself. I could be talking on the phone, or I could be watching something, listening to something, you know, whatever the case may be. All they know is that I'm laughing. And people will look at me like I'm weird. And that's when I'm like, is it so strange now or foreign? Or are people so depressed? Or, you know, are people's lives in shambles now to where they think that nobody's able to laugh, or laughing is like something taboo now? You know, just having a good time, smiling, laughing, enjoying the day, being present. It seems like that's foreign to people. I don't know. Is it just me? Or is that something that you realize? Either, you know, you're a person who laughs and smiles and enjoys yourself in public and people look at you like you're weird, or, you know, you notice that behavior happen to somebody else. Anywho, you know, that's something that I've noticed. And I find it strange. Because it's almost like kind of scared or shocking. Like, is that where we are as a society? And what happens after that? Everybody's going to have like a resting bitch face. You know, everybody has the resting bitch face permanently. Or, you know, everybody's just going to be an old mean grandpa or grandma. You know, that's almost like where it's coming to. You know, those old grandparents or those old people who just never smile, never laugh at anything. Or those fear-mongers who always think the worst is going to happen, the worst is about to happen. They can never think positive or nothing positive happens. Or they never smile or shine or highlight the positivity. I don't know. Is that where we're heading? I hope not. Whew. Anyway, that was a little tidbit for today. My miniature TED Talk is over. Anyway, this is Rich. Y'all be safe out there. Love and blessings. Story time. But first, this is Rich. I greatly do appreciate y'all for watching. Now, I was at the gas station one day, throwing something away. And I noticed this guy with this gas can was asking people for help. Everybody was ignoring him. I'm like, I hope he gets some help. So, I pull out, and I see out my rearview mirror that he was asking this lady for help. And she was ignoring him, just completely ignoring him. And I felt it on my spirit to turn around and help him out because I felt like nobody was getting ready to help him. So as I turn around, pull back in and help him, he's still trying to talk to this lady. And she's ignoring him, just completely ignoring him. And I yell out, I said, hey, you need some help? He said, yeah. I said, come on over here. I got you. The lady kind of looked up and then looked down and like she went back to ignoring him and went back to doing what she was doing, wiping down her car or whatever. And I looked over to analyze her because I'm a big observer. I'm a big people watcher. You know, I love psychology, philosophy, all these things. So every interaction I try to add onto my, you know, thought process or what I see, where I can know, how I can expand. And I noticed she had on a cross, a Jesus cross, a holy cross, whatever. I noticed she had on a cross. And I said, oh, wow. You know, you have on this religious cross. So you're projecting, you know, your holiness or your righteousness. Yet a person was asking for help. And you ignored them. Not denied, you know, but you ignored. And you don't even know if this is a test from God to test your heart or whatever the case may be. Or did this person not look adequate enough for you to help? Did you believe you were beneath them? Or do you are you using this religious things or religious mindsets or whatever the case may be as a cover-up for how trash of a person you are? And I know it may be harsh, me calling her trash because she ignored him, but my thing is that if you're a very religious person and you believe in helping people, then what stops you from extending a hand and giving somebody $2, $3 if they're in dire need, dire help? And they're asking you. Now, I could believe if you don't have it, you know, you can tell somebody, hey, I don't have it, and they can go on about their business. But to me, the way that she handled it by ignoring him just did not seem righteous. Again, it just that did not seem righteous. And I stood there, had a conversation with him. Come to find out, the reason why he looked like he was slumped, like he was on something, was because he suffered 4 strokes. So that might be the reason why he might be homeless. Might not be able to keep up with the job anymore, whatever may happen, or might have fell into drinking or drugs due to strokes or whatever the case may be. I don't know. But we oftentimes judge a book by its cover before we even help, before we even extend a hand. You know, we always say, is this person even worthy of being helped? That's what I noticed a lot of religious people, you know, how they behave. Is this person even worthy of my help? And I believe if Jesus was here, right? Jesus wouldn't be judging people like that. Like if we look in the Bible, or what they said about Jesus was that Jesus never really helped the people who were holy. Jesus never really helped the people who were in the church. Jesus never really helped the people who didn't need help. He never really helped the people who, you know, profess to be complete. No. He helped the people who needed help. He helped the people who were unfortunate, misfortunate. He helped the poor. He helped the drunk. He helped the people who were strung out. He helped the hoes. He helped the prostitutes. He helped the drug dealers. He helped the drug addicts. He helped the poor people. He was there hand in hand with them. So like I said, I wonder if a lot of religious people use this whole religious or, just all this as a cover-up for their bullshit. That's what I think. Because like I said, she could easily not help him, easily deny him and say, hey, I don't have it, and go on about her business. I get it. But this man asking you, talking to you, trying to get help, and you just completely ignoring him, you wiping down your car, whatever frivolous bullshit you was doing, to me just that did not seem righteous. Like I said, I noticed it at my rearview mirror. That's what made me turn around. Because I felt it in my spirit, felt it in my soul to turn around and help him. So I want to ask that lady, and your soul and your spirit and your conscience and your intuition, your divine being, your divine self, did it say ignore this person? Or is that truly who you are and all this is a cover-up? And that's what I believe with a lot of religious people. People who profess to be super religious and all that. I believe it's just a cover-up. Again, I believe it's all just a cover-up. It's not really real. People just use this as a cover-up for who they really are deep down inside. They just use it to be accepted into certain groups to make it look like they are these holy people. Or a lot of people just use this religion in hopes to fool God to get into heaven. Like, see God, hey, I got my cross on. See God, hey, I go to church. See God, hey, I profess to be righteous. Hey, see, look at me. I want to go to heaven. See. But is it really who you are? Is it really in your soul? Is it really in your spirit? Do you really act and move on that? That's my biggest thing. So, this is my thoughts about, certain religious people and religious groups and things of that sort and how they operate. Is it really real? Let me know what y'all think. This is Rich. Y'all be safe out there. Love and blessings. What's up, everybody? This is Rich. And when it comes to working a 9 to 5, I know a lot of people say, just get in, get out. That's it. And I believe that. Get in, get out. That's it. Especially if it doesn't align with your true goals, your purpose, your dreams, your aspirations. If you're 9 to 5 or whatever you're doing for some income, whatever you have going on, if it does not align with your dream, your purpose, and all that, I do as well believe, get in, get out. That's it. Do as much as what they pay you for, and that's it. But I also have another theory of when it comes to work. And that I believe if you're a being wanting to reach a higher self, or, you want to reach the limits that not a lot of people reach, if you're on the journey of self-mastery, or you just hold yourself to a high standard other than other individuals, then I say take the different approach when you're at work. Now, I do too agree, sometimes leave work at work, but sometimes you may want to take work home. Figuring out new angles, new ways, new theories, new ideas of how to accomplish your job better. And when you're at work, you do 110%. You go above and beyond, so much that your coworkers say, why are you doing so much? But you have to understand that you're not doing this for outside validation. You're not doing this for the boss to say, hey, that a boy or that a girl. You're not doing this for a raise. You're not doing this for promotion. You're not doing this for anything. A lot of this is selfish. Yes, selfish. You must be selfish at work. And the reason why I say you must be selfish is because when you're selfish and you want to get more done, you want to do the best job you can possibly do, you want to see your results, you want to do better, this leads to an increase of who you are as a person. This leads to an increase of how valuable you are. It shows how much you can do. This shows your reach as a person, your tenacity. See, all this is selfishness, and I think this is needed. 9 to 5s are good stumping grounds, good practice fields in order to test your durability. So yes, I do believe, 9 to 5s don't take them serious. Da, da, da. I do believe that to a certain extent, but sometimes you might want to take it there. And like I said, this is all rooted in selfishness. A lot of people don't take their work seriously because they're working at a 9 to 5. So their work slacks off. It shows that they don't care. A lot of things go on. But that's why I say take the other route. Take it seriously. Do the best job you can do. Granted, the job does get some benefit from it, that you make them look good, yeah. And you may not get recognition from it, yeah. But you have that internal validation. You validated yourself. You're confident. You're happy. You're proud of the work that you've done. And now when you turn around, you have the power. And you're saying, well, what do you mean you have the power? Because now, once you've made so much of an impact like you did at your job, doing the best you can possibly do, standing out just from your work ethic, now you get to see how they value you. Now you get to see how they really care about you. And we already know a lot of times they don't care, but now you get to see it in your face. And now you get to take your power back and pour that same energy into yourself. So imagine you're doing 110% for this job that finally exposed their hand that they don't care about you, things of that sort. And you take your talents and you invest in yourself. Now you know the possibility. Now you know your limits. Now you know what the heights that you can reach. And now that you're working for yourself, that 110% turns into 220%. You see? So sometimes it's not always, oh, I'm working for a 9 to 5. Let me not put in my best, or let me not do my best in this and that. Sometimes it's not always that. Again, sometimes it's not always that. Sometimes when you're on these jobs, or you have the ability to, test your limit for yourself. Put in the work for yourself. See how far you can go for yourself. Be selfish. It's like you're doing it on somebody else's dime. Learn as much as you can learn. Soak in as much as you can soak in. And then when you feel like you've had enough or you want to do it on your own, you test them. See how much they value you. And if you feel like it's not adequate enough, you leave. Take that energy and pour it into yourself. Now you're the biggest threat. That's how I see it. I feel like that's how we should all treat 9 to 5s. Like I said, for me personally, when they say, go in there, do the bare minimum because that's all they're paying you to do, it just doesn't align with me as a person. It doesn't align with me to do a half-assed job. It doesn't. So I had to figure out ways for me to transmute my energy and to say, okay, I'm doing all this work, but how can I come out on top? And probably not going to promote you, probably not going to give you a raise, probably not even going to acknowledge you. What can you do? And I said, hey, this is just going to raise my value. This is going to raise my value. This is going to raise my stock. So now I see what I can do. Now I know what I can do. Now I know my limits. Now I know my abilities, my skills, my gifts. And when the time is right, I can pour it into myself. And that will be the minimum that I give to myself. See, the maximum that I now give to this company or this job, or the maximum that you give to the company or the job, now when you pour into yourself, becomes your minimum. Your minimum is what you give yourself. So if you're giving that job 100%, now the minimum that you give yourself is 100%. Because when you're working for yourself, you don't mind going above and beyond. So now above and beyond is heights that you never reached. And that's all I'm saying. Winners will listen to this. They'll understand what I'm talking about. Anyways, I greatly do appreciate y'all for listening. This is Rich. Y'all be safe out there. Love and blessings. Is ignorance truly bliss? Again, is ignorance truly bliss? Some may say yes, some may say no. But if you ask me, personally, I would say ignorance is not bliss. Ignorance can give you a false sense of bliss, but it is a false sense of bliss truly bliss? No. Again, it's not. Because that false sense of bliss can lead you down a road to where, when you finally uncover the truth, you could be more hurt. Let's say, for instance, you have a partner and your partner's cheating on you. And you say ignorance is bliss. You don't want to know. Right? So they cheat on you, cheat on you, cheat on you, cheat on you, and you ignore it because you believe ignorance is bliss. So you don't look out for it or whatever the case may be. And now your partner has contracted something from a partner of theirs. And they bring it to you. And now you have this thing. Was ignorance truly bliss? It may have comforted you. It may have comforted you at that time, yes. But now that false sense of comfort is now doing you more harm than good, because what you have now could have been prevented had you not been ignorant or had you not ignored the current circumstances. Had you made yourself aware of the current circumstances and not been ignorant to the current circumstances, now you could have been living in bliss because you could have handled those situations accordingly. So is ignorance truly bliss? No. Like I said, it's a false sense of bliss, but it's not truly bliss. Because what happens when those consequences and repercussions of being ignorant to certain things rolls back around? Again, what happens when those consequences and repercussions come rolling back around? You find yourself in a tighter spot than you were before. So like I said, ignorance is not truly bliss. It may seem like it because we don't have to be responsible for holding the truth. But sometimes you need that truth. Sometimes that truth is what really sets you free. Isn't that what they always say? The truth shall set you free. Well, this is case in point. That knowing the truth about situations, not being ignorant to situations, is really freedom. It's really the bliss. But the more that you deny the truth, the more that you separate yourself from the truth, the more that you live in ignorance and not try to know the truth, is the more that you set yourself up for destruction. Again, it's the more that you set yourself up for destruction. So you have to think long term. You can't just think for the now, because the now, we always want to be comfortable. We always want to be comfortable when we think about the now, but you have to think about the future. And then when you think about the future, you say, okay, maybe this ignorance that I'm seeking now, or this bliss, I should say, that I'm seeking now, may not be so blissful down the line. It's like you don't check your bank account. So you're just spending and spending and spending and spending. Ignorant to the fact, again, ignorant to the fact of how much money you have, because it's blissful. You don't have to have a care for it until you're out of money. Was that ignorance truly bliss? Now that you're out of money? Versus when you consciously checked your money and moved this and did that, and now you're sure about how much money you have. So now you can move accordingly. And that you took that hit in the beginning of knowing the truth, and now you can now live in bliss because you're moving and operating accordingly to the information that you now have. So is ignorance truly bliss? No. It's a false sense of bliss until the truth comes knocking at your door. And I hope you're prepared to answer it. Anyways, this is Rich. I greatly do appreciate y'all for listening. Y'all be safe out there. Love and blessings.